Hi, this will be a rambling clip based on Rabidape's video about things being true for me, and based on a family dinner I had yesterday. I was at this gathering of the family in conjunction with Christmas, and there was a fun dealer, and he told people about the water canopy around the earth, the Cantovin thing, which supposedly protected people from aging before the flood, and rambled on against evolution and such things. The typical creationist fear. Oh yeah, and they mentioned those supposed human tracks alongside dinosaur tracks, the Pelosi thing. And when I argued against him, he got kind of defensive and said, well, things are uncertain, and so I choose to believe this or that. And it was essentially the true for me argument, which Rabidape mentioned. No matter what kind of science I brought up against his argument, it just ended up there. Okay, fine, that's an argument, but this fundamentalist view is true for me. A little bit later, he brought up crop circles, and then I dropped my jaw on the ground, because I did not think that fundamentalists believed in aliens, but evidently he did. So okay, evolution didn't happen, but somehow aliens evolved, appeared. And I can't understand this view, but somehow he managed to put these things together and even create some obscure Bible passage that he interpreted in that direction. How he manages to combine aliens with souls that need rescuing through Jesus Christ is simply beyond me. I didn't press that point. And he went on about conspiracies and NASA hiding evidence for alien moon landings when the first human moon landings took place, and such things. Went on about conspiracies to hide the crop circles and those things, and I mentioned that humans have been found to do this kind of things, those kind of things that you didn't think humans were capable of or interested in. And what's the point with traveling hundreds of light years just to do some graffiti? What are they? Intergalactic hoodlums? I kind of ridicule that view, but I got a clear impression that even though the rest of the family is fairly much Christian, they didn't support neither his fundamentalist views nor his ET views. I know that aliens and fundamentalist Christianity isn't mutually exclusive, but you sure need to do some fast thinking in order to make those views fit. You need some ad hocery. And I've heard other Christians expose belief in astrology, for instance. Where does that fit? we started talking about other things, and then later on, just to make my point clear, I mentioned my showing that Earth isn't flat video on YouTube, which I'll link there, and kind of described how I showed it, or showed how you could show it. And then there was a discussion about flat earthers, and everyone agreed that flat earthers were silly, even the fundy, and derided their way of just deciding how the world was rather than looking at the evidence. So apparently irony is dead. I could manage to make him say exactly what I wanted to say to him 5 minutes earlier, but he didn't see the connection, not at all, and neither did anyone else. So I kind of gave up there. But well, it got me thinking about some people just manage to stuff everything they want the world to be together into some kind of worldview. Doesn't seem to depend much on evidence. It just seems to be the case that it's something that you can't right away check, something in the far horizon, and that it's uncertain, and then you can inject anything you want into that uncertainty. It seems to be the attitude, while my attitude is to gather evidence and try your level best to do reasoning under uncertainty, which is a clip series of mine. And I can't quite understand this. I mean, we're all susceptible to some kind of wishful thinking, but it gets to a certain level and then it starts to get really weird and possibly dangerous. What if you took that kind of reasoning from the far horizon to more everyday life, like you're driving and there's a curve in the road, and on the left side and straight ahead there's a cliff. I mean, your eyes could be tricking you, and maybe there isn't a cliff straight ahead. Maybe it's an optical illusion. Maybe that's the shortest road to where you're going. But if you act on such impulses, such wishful thinking, then you're going to drive off a cliff, most likely. So why not use the same kind of reasoning for what's right in front of you and for what's a little bit further away? Why not use what knowledge you have and gather all the evidence you can in order to do things as rational as possible, instead of just injecting your wishful thinking into every uncertainty you can dream of? Wishful thinking hasn't those extreme consequences for far horizon uncertainties as for the near uncertainties, but normally. But sometimes the consequences can be dire enough. Still, fundamentalist beliefs affect who is allowed to marry who, and the politics, and what kind of science is supported and not. So these tendencies to do wishful thinking, they need a counterweight. I think it's important to say against those that just mix and match anything they want to, and do so publicly. But hopefully in the future, skeptical reasoning will prevail. Okay, thanks.